This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
Views expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of WPSL. However, we do encourage you to like and share them on Facebook. It's time for the Science of Caring, Careology, with your host, Roxy.
Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone had a beautiful weekend, and it was a beautiful day today. It wasn't raining, so I was enjoying myself immensely. To those that are just tuning in, welcome to Careology, where this is the science of caring, supporting and caring for our community for a new you. And we are proudly sponsored by Treasure Coast Lexus, right here on the Treasure Coast. If you're looking for a car, go down and check them out. My co-host this evening is Cathie with Gracway Village. Hi, Cathie. How are you doing?
Hi, Roxy. I'm doing wonderful. Thanks for having me here.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much. We love having you. If you're tuning in with us for the first time, welcome. Careology is a subsidiary of CareBag Incorporated, a nonprofit, and we are supporting those in need in our community with proper hygiene. We want everyone to remember proper hygiene is a right, not a privilege, and everyone should have access to it. And we have a real interesting show tonight. Our show is about food insecurities, and we have gone through a lot of that since I would say, we've been going through it for a while, Cathie, but we've really hit it.
Since March 10th. That's a date
March
on our
10th.
calendar when everything changed. Kicked it up. Mm-hmm.
That sounds like the movie When the End of the World Comes. You remember where you were March 10th?
That's it, March
That's
10th.
it, March 10th. So we're going to talk about that. But we just want to say our prayers out to the family of Tiger Woods, and we wish him the best recovery and for him and his children. And we just hope that he gets through this, and we're just going to keep him in our prayers. And I read a very, very interesting article in the news, because I always scroll for something good, and it took me all week to find this. A gentleman found two things. A gentleman found someone's wallet here in Florida, and she had just cashed her check, Cathie, and he went, looked up her address. She had the ring bell, so she saw him. He came and he put it down and he hid it and left a message on the ring so they'll know he found it and put it there. And she's trying to find him just to say thank you. That was her last check, and she was very grateful for that. So we have some really, really good Samaritans out there. And whoever that gentleman was, our hats off to you, because you really helped someone. That shows that kindness does matter. And we do have some people in this world that can show kindness. And that's what Careology is about, caring for each other. And then I had another story, and the story was in Texas. A gentleman, his house got flooded. His family was in need, and he got in his pickup truck and he just went around helping people. Even though his house got flooded out and he lost basically everything, he just went out and just started with ropes and helping everyone. And we have kindness in this world. So with everything that we see going on and with all the bad news we hear, there's some really, really good news out there. And we just want to encourage everyone to be kind, look after your neighbors, because just remember, if it happens to you, how do you want someone to treat you? And you just do the same, and this world will be a much, much better place. So, Cathie, Graceway Village.
I love talking about Graceway Village.
I
I
know
love
you-
working with you, partnering with Graceway Village. We've been at it, helping our neighbors in need since 2009.
Wow.
I know. I'm feeling really old. I'm there 7 years now myself.
Wow.
We've done two main programs, and that's providing food to those who are hungry once a week on Sunday nights, and then providing free clothing for children and teens. I never understood how critical of a need that was, and how it affected in so many ways. I didn't have a clue. I just didn't have a clue. Children couldn't go to school because they didn't have dress code compliant clothing. And so to be a part of a nonprofit that provides both of these critical areas that are so basic has been a great privilege.
Yeah. It's been, I know that you did. We've partnered with our mobile shower unit coming to your facility. You do the food. We had someone do the haircuts. We do the showers. And I always know that you give out clothes. And I understand families need clothes. But I didn't understand it until we opened up our building in August. And I would see pregnant moms coming in and moms with babies coming in. And it's cold. Why doesn't your baby have socks on? oh, I don't have, they're dirty or whatever. That's when it started to hit us. And I was like, wow. And then I started, well, do you know Graceway Village? And I would just say, this, you got to call them. They're open certain days. And you can really see it. There is a need. There's a very, very big need. And a lot of people don't understand when you're privileged to have, you don't understand what it is to need. And it's a scary thing. When I open up my fridge, I'm like, whoo, sometimes I'm like, oh, just thank you, Jesus. Right. I just say thank you, Jesus, because it's a hard time right now. And I was looking, everyone knows I always do my research. And the one thing I found out is that here on the Treasure Coast in the nation, we are number 12.
Number 12 in what?
Number 12 in food insecurities.
Oh my goodness, that's so sobering.
Yes,
because we're not. It's not like we're a huge city.
We're not a
and
huge
yet to
city.
rank that high.
Yeah, we rank number 12, which is very high. And in 2018, they estimated 1 out of 9 Americans had food insecurity. So that's equating to almost 37 million Americans and 11 million children that might go to bed hungry or can't afford food. And that was 2018. There was no pandemic. There was no lines, miles and hours going into lines. I hear some people tell me, I got to be there at 3:00 because I have to get. And this is 2018. We're in 2021.
Right.
So we know that we see it. We're in it. We see it. We know it. But it is real. And my question is to you, when these families come, because I've been to your facility and I know, but it's your story and I want you to tell it. When these families come to you, what do they say? What are some of the things that they say? We want people to know.
Yes. We hear such a variety of things. First, I have to say, they're always so friendly and kind.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
you mentioned earlier as far as the kindness that we need, the love that we need to show. I really underestimated the population that I would end up serving at this stage of my life, and I thought I knew everything about it. And the reality is they are some of the finest, kindest people I know. We deliver meals to a variety of places as well as have them served on site for them to go. And recently I was talking to a woman who's been coming to us. I'm going to sneeze. I'm so sorry.
That's all right. Sneeze. We're live. It's okay.
Oh.
Everything happens here.
This is a first for me. Okay. I think I've got it. But she's been coming to our food cafe since probably before I even started 7 years ago. And we clicked and we've had a good relationship. And in talking to her recently, she said, you just have to know this. There are times we would literally not have meals if it wasn't for what you guys do here. Come on.
Yeah.
We deliver meals 4 nights a week to a hotel where there's a number of families that this is their last resort before homelessness, is they're staying in a hotel, 1 room with their children, in a hotel that, I'll be honest, I maybe would have stayed at when I was 18.
I don't think I
Right.
would have stayed at that. I was a little bougie. I would not.
Were
have
you?
stayed. I will. I'm gonna be. Everyone knows I'm honest.
You're
I'm not
honest,
gonna.
okay.
I'm not gonna put my dog there.
Okay. Well, I will
Because me
tell
and you have gone to hotels. We've had families. I've put in hotels.
Yes,
and
we've
you've
done it
come.
together,
Yeah,
yes.
you've come and you fed them every
Absolutely.
day, and you saw the condition because
Right.
that's the only thing they can afford,
That's
which
all they
is
can-
which is sad.
Well, here's a fact that people don't really understand what can't afford means. These are families, the majority that we are seeing, these are working families who have really been hit with COVID and got behind the 8 ball. They are spending $1,200 to $1,600 a month on 1 room in a hotel that you would never stay at, and it's been years before, since me.
Well, we have to clarify what hotel is, because me and you have been to these places. So this hotel, it is a room, a box room, and there is no kitchen. There is no closet. There is just a bathroom or maybe a shower and a sink. And they have sometimes a little fridge. Sometimes they have a little fridge. There is no couch. There is no fold-out couch. There is no ensuite. There is no balcony.
No continental breakfast.
No continental breakfast. There is nothing, and it's seedy characters around some of these places. That's
Some
the
of
best
them.
way for me to say on some of them, and we as nonprofits sometimes have to put some families there. I remember one family was the mother. She had 5 kids. I don't know if you remember.
I think it was
Yeah,
6.
It was
actually.
6. It was 6 kids, and it was one room with 6 kids.
I know. I showed up with our meals that night to her, and I looked at the room, and it was a double bed. It was a room maybe the size as this room that we're in
studio,
right now. And I'm like, so how's everyone going to sleep? And she said, well, I'm going to put 4 in the bed, and the 2 teenagers can sleep on the floor there.
They were twins, remember?
That's right.
Yeah, they were
That's
twin
right.
boys. That's right.
And so they could sleep on the floor, and then she was going to sleep on the floor also. And I said, do you have any air mattresses? She says, no. And I said, well, we've got some at home. That's a non-issue. Yes.
Yeah. So
And the children still were content.
and
I
they
love
never
children.
complained. They every time we used to go to check on them, to bring them, never complained. It was me, you, and Kendra.
Yes.
Me, you, and
Kenya.
Kendra. Kenya. Sorry, Kenya. And and that's and for me, even though this is something I do every time, it's a wake up. It's a wake up call, and I'm like, wow, not again, not again. And it's sad, but these are the stages. We don't give out food at Careback, but we keep food on hand because there's always that mother. We keep formula. There's always that family that they don't have to say it. You know what I mean? They never have to say I'm hungry. You can look at them
And see it.
and you can see it. When there's a phrase, you look hungry in your eyes. There is that phrase, and sometimes when you give it, they just burst out and cry. We've had to put a barrier up by my office because they get so emotional. They just come and grab me, and and I had one of my board members there, and they were like, "No!"
Right.
But it's you're just overcome with so much emotion because these are children, And I had one lady come, and she had a back window. No back window of her car. It was one of the times where I'm a New Yorker. It was cold. I had a hat on. It was cold. And I can see the bundles in the back. She said, I got my kids in the car, and I'm looking at this open window. And I go outside, and there's a 3-week-old little girl, and there's a 4-year-old boy, and he was ash because it was so cold.
Aww.
And I called my friend Jonathan at Dyer Chevrolet, and I took a picture. He said, get the VIN. He got the glass, and he fixed the car.
Oh.
And every time she comes in, we have to say, no hugging, no hugging. But she couldn't afford it. And that's what she said. Every time I got a little bit of money, I needed Pampers. I needed food. And she said, and I don't think a lot of people understand the SNAP benefits, food stamps, welfare, for those that know it. What they get, it cannot sustain them for that month. Children are now home.
You're right. No, they did increase it a bit for COVID,
Yeah.
but it still doesn't touch
no.
what they really need, and we want health for them.
Yeah.
We know that the low income, those struggling with poverty, their health is all the more at risk.
At risk, yeah.
In all reality, so it's all the more important for them to do that. I also like to look at the parents and say, if you will let us feed you, the money that you save, especially at the hotels because they don't have a kitchen, the money that you save it for the next thing that's really critical. And sometimes it could be something as simple as
Gas.
a new car tag or a gas. But we know what the reason they're ending up in hotels is because they were evicted. They can't get a new place because they don't have first, last, and security.
Let's just
so
say
let us help you save so that you can do
get
that.
it. So let's just say a place is $500 a month. I know it's not, but let's say. So that's $1,500 they have to come up with. Plus they need to come up for light. They need to come for water. They're going to need furniture. They're going to need something at the windows if they don't have it. I don't think people understand there's so much that goes into it. It's like trying to catch up, but you're on a treadmill. You're on a running treadmill and you're trying to catch up, but you're just in one stationary place. You're not moving. So
I tend to think it's even worse than that.
It
Have you
is.
been on a treadmill where it's not stationary, it's moving.
It's moving.
And you are barely keeping up. And any moment now you're going to fall flat on your face because that's how I think
yeah.
it really is, to be honest with you. It's
Yeah.
humorous picturing for me, but not
we
the
have
truth.
to. I look at it that way because a treadmill, even though it moves, that treadmill is stationary. So they're just still in that same spot.
I see what
They're
you
not
mean,
going any further. They're not going any further. So Cathie, hold on. We're going to continue this. We're going to hear from one of our sponsors, and we'll be right back with what causes insecurities in our community and how Graceway is helping our community. We'll be right back after these messages. Thanks. If you could reimagine the way you buy a car, what would you do? Make it simple, make negotiations disappear, demand transparency, then experience amazing at your Treasure Coast Lexus dealer. Car Buying Simplified. Treasure Coast Lexus is a proud sponsor of Careology. Every Tuesday at 6:05 p.m., caring and supporting for our community. Car Buying Simplified. Check out your Treasure Coast Lexus dealer. All Roads Truck and Auto Repair. They get it right the first time. Call 772-266-3303. All Roads Truck and Auto Repair. All roads lead here. When you want it done right, call 772-266-3303. Tell them Roxy sent you.
This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
And now back to Careology with Roxy.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in with us. For those of you that are just tuning in, I have Cathie here with me, the CEO of Gracway Village, and they do a fantastic job. When I met Cathie, when I met Cathie, Care Bag was just coming out. We're 5 years old now, and that's where we first really started to debut our mobile showers, and then COVID happened. And because we take health seriously and the wellness of our community, it was not to do it for PR. It was to do it for the health and wellness of our community. So we stopped our mobile shower units. But now that there is a vaccine out and more people are getting vaccinated, we can get back to the table and we can see how we can make this happen.
Wonderful.
But the health and safety of the people in our community, they are our neighbors without walls. I have my girlfriend that gave me that phrase. Roxy did not think it up. I'm not going to take credit for it. Our neighbors without walls. These men and women and their children, they used to live by somebody. They used to play. They used to go to your barbecues. They used to just come around, get in their car and drive. They are somebody, and we need to treat them with more dignity. Mm-hmm. And I know me and Cathie are about that on the same page. Yeah. But we have someone here that says, for many children, free breakfast and lunch at school were the only meals they received during the day. These COVID lockdowns have directly affected my generation and our perspective concerning food insecurity. And this gentleman is 15 years old.
15?
15, yes, ma'am.
Well spoken.
Very well
Very
spoken.
knowledgeable. He must be hungry.
Huh? Oh, no, he's not hungry.
He's not.
He's not hungry, but he has an eye for what's going on in his community.
Good for him.
He has an eye what's going on. And someone is right. This should be illegal that we have people hungry in our country. And I think we don't talk politics on this show. But I have to say this. I've traveled the world and I've been to many places. And I think what bothers me a little bit, it's always good to take care of everyone else. It's always good to look after the people that need help. I believe that's what makes America America. But I had an uncle, and he always said something. If you don't take care of what's in your house, how can you do a good job somewhere else?
When I hear individuals tell me about a nonprofit, an international nonprofit that they're participating in, I celebrate with them for doing that. But then I ask them, what are you doing locally?
Yeah.
You know, I'm talking local.
Locally,
St. Lucie County, Florida, local. And so often they say, oh, that's the only one that we can do. And so then I look at them, and you and I are both pretty straightforward people.
Oh, yeah.
And I just look at them and say, so essentially you're stepping over your own children in order to help someone somewhere else.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with helping anyone, but I truly believe this is what people have to remember. When people are desperate people do desperate things. The people need to remember that. If you have children that are hungry, if you have children that are needing diapers, if you have a baby that's needing formula and you don't have money and you don't have anywhere to go, you're going to make sure that that child is going to get fed. There are two things that happen. You make sure that child is going to get fed, or that's why we have children's services.
Right.
Now you neglect that child. Then, oh my goodness, how could they do that? It takes money to run a nonprofit. Me and Cathie are the same. I hold nothing back. And I believe people need to know. Some people think nonprofits, it's a tough business. Excuse me. It's a tough business, but it's a good business. When I'm getting in my mood and I'm feeling my kind of way, and then I go to our office, I have a reality wake-up call every minute when someone rings that bell or someone comes, because I realize how grateful I am and how lucky I am, and how lucky the people I know around me are that, we have a new grandson. He doesn't have to worry about Pampers. He's on a schedule and they get shipped to them on a regular basis. But these are our children. They said it takes a village. There's Gracway Village. There's Restoring the Village. Everything is a village. It always says it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to look after everyone. And we need to start doing that. We really need to start doing that. And they say everything begins at home. I am not a Floridian, but this is my home. This is where I live. So this is where I started, at home. And the one thing I love is I love how I'm all volunteers. So I'd like you to tell us how it goes in that kitchen. How does your kitchen run? How do you get that food prepared, and what do you do?
Oh my goodness! When I remember on March 10th, 2020, the day, we knew it was hitting our area. We were standing in the kitchen, and we're like, "What are we going to do?" And within seconds, we knew it was very simple. We can't say we're a food kitchen feeding those who are hungry and not step up. So we immediately went into 7 nights a week, and we did that for quite a while, and then we went down to 5 nights, and then we're down to 4 only because our volunteers and staff were we started to see signs of exhaustion, and so
not only that, I know your volunteers, and your volunteers are of the mature age. So
well, you're thinking more the clothing. We have mature. I guess that fits me too, because they're about my age. Oh, stop it. Roxy.
Well, see, my volunteers were this. My volunteers were mature, or my volunteers were school age. So we had over 200 volunteers that were school age. Basically every high school. We had Boys and Girls Club kids coming out. We had Jensen Beach. We had the Titans football team. They would go into the woods.
The young ones.
They would go into the woods. They'll pitch the tents for our homeless guys. But when COVID happened, that stopped. They couldn't come out. I made a decision, no more kids. I was not going to put them at risk. But now I had my very mature volunteers that were at risk.
Right.
So I was like, what are we going to do?
We put them on hold for a while. The ones, they were a little bit older than me. We had them wait a while. But honestly, you are right with that. They're the ones who are serving the most. Yeah. Some of them are working 15, 20 hours a week. I want to say this comment just because it's just such a powerful truth for me. It's separate, going back to what do they say sometimes, our guests. And here's the thing. There was a single mom who grabbed the children of her next door neighbor who was struggling with depression and couldn't move. Her children were that hungry. So she brought her children and her neighbor's children, and they pulled up. The kids were hungry. They hadn't eaten in a couple of days. So thank goodness for this wonderful neighbor who was assertive. But here's the thing that gets me. Those children cheered us like we were heroes.
Wow.
There's
you
nothing.
were heroes.
No, they're really, here's the thing. There's not one child in this United States who should ever look at anyone giving them food as a hero. Yeah. That's a shame on us experience. It really is. And that's what motivates us, not because we want to feel like we're heroes, but because if not us, whom?
But it's not feeling like you're heroes. You have to remember, I had a lot of people had to say, Roxy, take the thank you.
Oh, I know.
Take the thank you, because that's what it is. They can't do anything else except tell us thank you and applaud.
And we love on them. And we appreciate it.
And I take it because I realize when I don't take it, I insult them.
Oh, don't ever think we insult them. We don't. We take it. I'm just saying it shouldn't happen.
It breaks your heart. It breaks my heart. I'm going to tell you something that and I love the Port St. Lucie Police Department because this is what happened. A mom came to me, and I see her we have a glass, so anytime you pull up to our building, I can see everything. My volunteers move me to the other side. I can't see anything anymore, but I can see everything out the window, and I watch. I'm always watching, and I'm saying, okay, somebody's coming. We have to unlock the door. But then I see her bend down, all the way down that I couldn't see her. And I said, oh, I wonder what she's probably getting her bag. She came up with the infant in her hand. She didn't have a car seat. The baby was on blankets and towels on the passenger seat on the floor. So I called our good friend, Rich, and he gave me a number, and I can't remember the officer's name, and he speeded over to our office with 2 car seats, put it in, gave us 1 more. While he left, he was leaving, and the other young girl came and about to have a baby and needed a car seat.
Don't you love it when that happens?
Oh, and they were in the back,
goodness.
so she didn't see it. She just said, I'm about to have a baby, and the baby can't come home without a car seat. And I was like, wow, God, you are amazing. And I just know I called him. I said, someone just came. Can you help her put it in? And he turned around and he put it in. And then 30 minutes later, we saw him pull up again, and he had 2 more extra car seats. And he said,
wonderful.
here, you're going to go. They didn't last a month. I still need more because I got COVID babies.
Well, think about it. I
Yeah.
mean, look what you do.
Yeah.
And you've got diapers. It
I
would
got-
go
oh.
hand in hand with that. Absolutely.
And it's so when you see that and the tears, and it's like, okay, that's going to keep the baby safe. And that's what I love when I come to your establishment and you're walking around and we're talking and they're sitting down eating, the peace that you see over them. It's just like, I remember seeing one girl, and I went to her and I said, take your time. If you want more, you can have more. And we were there for one of our shower events, and you can see the hunger in her, because I was going around taking names who wanted to get a shower. And I went to her, and she was just chugging. I said, baby, take your time. I know you can get more. And she just looked at me like, that deep breath. You know, it's so important. People don't understand the food. Food is so important. That is sustenance to a body. And
is.
And for you to go out and work, for you to go out and look a job, you need that. Especially our elderly. Tell us about our elderly. How many do you serve?
Right now, we are serving about 112 in 2 different public housing communities for seniors and disabled that we deliver meals to. And it's very sobering, because the reality is they're already destitute.
Yeah.
I mean, you just have to understand, to live there, you're destitute.
We were just getting ready to start with you when COVID came, and we had to stop.
Really?
Yeah, we were just starting with the diapers,
Well,
with
that's
the
still
Depends.
going on.
And
we
it
do
is-
deliver there.
We deliver.
And so we are able to deliver Depends, and when we have donations of it. Right now, we do have some donations, which is great. The seniors are very stranded.
Yeah.
They're kind of the forgotten ones. And the reality is, what I point out to individuals is, we can look at young, and we can pray hard that miracle happens so they can get out. When you're looking at the seniors in these particular public housing things, this is it.
Yeah, that's it for
This
them.
is it.
And a lot of people don't understand. Some families, some of them don't have any families, and 2, some families don't care.
Yes.
Kathy,
was
I'm
a-
not
oh
politically
gosh.
correct, so I'm going to say it like it
I know.
is.
Back with Hurricane Irma,
Yeah.
we hit the high rise, and we knocked on all of our client doors to make sure they were prepared for the hurricane, and then we went back the day after the hurricane hit to see how they were doing, and it was pretty bad. It was flooded and all that, and there was a sweet, sweet, sweet little old lady. She was easily in her 80s. Her first night in that facility was the night of the hurricane.
Oh, my goodness.
She had been with her son and his family, and they dropped her off there instead of keeping her at home with them because it was too crowded. And we were pretty speechless, because here the sweet thing is on the 6th floor in a building where night times are scary anyway, in all
yeah, of
honesty.
course.
Then for the hurricane, no electricity and everything else, and it just killed us. But we were so glad to be able to meet her.
I know what you mean, because my mom is gonna kill me. My mom is in her mid 80s, or I think mid 70s. Love you, Mom. And I could not see me dropping my mom off anywhere.
You'd be running to pick her up.
You know how many times I get on that? Let her call me right now. Cliff, let me get a call or a text from my mom. that I need to go and do somewhere, I am on 95 right now. It's going to be you and Cathie right here doing Careology.
We can handle it.
You can
We got
handle it, but that's my mom, and that is my responsibility, and I see it because I see they come to our facility. They get the bus, or on Thursdays we go out to them, because they don't know how to do the app. So I have to take all the information. I'm not gonna bother. They don't do the app, Cathie. We don't teach a dog, old dog, new tricks. You just leave it alone, and it's what should take me an hour tops takes me 3 to 4 hours.
That's it.
Because you can't just say, here you go, thank you, how you doing? They want to talk, and you want to give them that respect to go ahead and talk. What the people don't understand, the elderly, we are here because of what they put in to this country.
That's
and some people just don't understand. Depends are an essential part of a lot of our mature going out to Publix. Nothing upsets me more than seeing a gentleman with his pants wet. That I cringe. I get so mad you would think someone just slapped me. Because it is, people don't understand, the benefits don't cover that.
No, they don't.
They do not cover depends. You cannot get that. It has to be a medical necessity, and insurances aren't kind for that. And they're expensive.
They are.
I give more depends out than I do Pampers. We go to Indian River, and I would say 90% of what we give out are depends.
My goodness. It's not surprising.
No, it's not surprising,
at all.
and it's a need. The same way we have food insecurities, I tell individuals we have hygiene insecurities, because you can get some food, you might be able to stretch it out a little bit, but what you get in government assistance, you cannot buy the essentials that you need in hygiene. Depends, Pampers, wipes, deodorant, lotion, those things you cannot buy. And it is imperative that I think people learn that. It's hard for someone to understand when it's easy for you to go and swipe.
Right.
You just swipe.
Well said.
I go into the store, I need some coconut milk, and I need some raisin bread and a bagel, and then by the time I go down every aisle down Publix up and down, the 4 things I need and now turn into 25. And I didn't think about it. I just
take it
picked
for
it
granted,
up.
don't
I
we?
take it because I know when I swipe, it's gonna say approved, and I just keep going. A lot of people don't have that they can do that, and it is just a God-given blessing that we have Gracway Village, that individuals can come. And if you're out there, and I always say this, maybe the homeless are not your thing. Maybe, the cat and the dog is not your thing. But I don't believe in this country that any child should go to bed hungry. That is a sin. Shame on us. Whoever is listening and you can do something, shame on every last one of us if we don't do what we have to do so that children do go to bed hungry. Parents needing to go to work. You can't function to go to school. You can't function on your job. You can't function. And a lot of people don't know that people that they see at work, people that they see at Walmart, Dunkin' Donuts, they're living in their car. They're living in tents.
That's very true.
And they're going to work. They're trying to make it day by day. And sometimes you can't eat at work. One day I wanted to tip a guy at Dunkin' Donuts. I didn't realize you can't tip at Dunkin' Donuts anymore.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's a shame.
You cannot tip at Dunkin' Donuts. And he did such a good job. Not until I got to the car did I realize he gave me the wrong coffee. But he was still so nice.
But that coffee's important. We got to admit that.
Gotta have it. But he was so nice. And the lady at the register, the other lady at the, because they're in the store, I said, that's a shame. And the girl said, yeah, they stopped it. And I was like, that is a shame. That's a shame. But they don't understand. People that you see that you can be working with, that you can be laughing with and talking about what you did. These people might be going to their van. I meet people that are in their van. They're in tents. I meet mothers with newborn babies living in their car. When they came out the hospital, the nurse, whoever pushed them to the car, was so naive and just did not know that this mother was living in her car. They can hide it very well.
Oh, absolutely.
They hide it very, very well because they don't want to be ostracized.
They want to protect their children, too.
And plus, they want to protect their children. They have a great fear their children are going to be removed, which is not true.
Right.
A lot of them don't know. If you are homeless with your child and your child is in good condition and you are taking care of that child, your child is not taken away from you. Your child has to be in distress, has to be abused. There has to be some kind of distress and hurt to that child that causes someone to intervene. And
so what can they do? Do we have any place in our area where these mothers and these homeless families can go, Roxy?
You're about to get me started. Oh, boy.
Oh, well, you know why I'm leading us in that conversation.
I know, and we're going to go there. Cliff, you think we should take a break before I answer that question? Where do we go with mothers and homeless individuals? Where can they go when I find them?
Thought. Yeah, let's take a break.
If everyone, I got some news for you. So we're going to take a little break, our last break, and come back, and you're going to hear my answer. And we'll be right back with Careology with Roxy and Cathie. Stay tuned. Thinking of building your next home or renovating? Come see us at Gracway Builders. We will create a home suited for your lifestyle. With years of experience means we give you a complete professional service from a dream to a concept. You will get the best results, best value, best quality is what you get from Gracway Builders. Visit us at gracwaybuilders.com. You deserve better. You deserve Gracway. All Roads Truck and Auto Repair. They get it right the first time. Call 772-266-3303. All Roads Truck and Auto Repair. All roads lead here. When you want it done right, call 772-266-3303. Tell them Roxy sent you.
This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
And now, back to Careology. Once again, here's Roxy.
Thank you, Cliff. Thank you, Cliff. And if anyone's just tuning in, my name is Roxy with Careology, the science of caring for our community, caring for you and supporting you the best way we can. And I have my guest host with me today, Cathie with Gracway Village. And we are talking about food insecurities. And her organization does a phenomenal job with individuals who are, their children are hungry, they're hungry, they come home from work, they're tired, they open their fridge, and it is bare. Just like that little book we used to read growing up, The Three Little Bears. There's no food in the cupboard, there's nothing to eat. People are going through that every single day. I have a pantry. I walked around my house a couple of weeks ago. I was doing some cleaning, and I was cleaning out the fridge. And I was like, man, I got to go to the garage, and I got to clean the garage fridge. Then I was like, man, I got to go and clean the deep freezer.
That's right.
Do we think about it?
You know, when I think about it really is when I climb into my nice, comfy, cozy bed on a really cold night. I don't enjoy it like I used to anymore because I now know too much. Before we get into a really big topic, I want to say two things before I forget.
Go ahead.
One is I've just got to give such a kudos to my staff, and I include the volunteers in that. They're just at the same level. They've been turned upside down from COVID, going from one night a week to what we're doing. Since March 10th, 2020.
I wrote it down, March 10th.
Thank you. It's the day. For us, it's our day. They have prepared and given out over 42,200 hot meals.
Wow.
To just
Hold on, people. Did we hear that? I got to get Cliff in there to give me some applause, but that's all right. I got my little thing.
We used to take studio audiences and just record them.
Yeah. Well,
back in the old days.
I got my button. I won't say from where, but I got my button. It works.
That's perfect.
But, kudos to them. It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, and it's accelerated. The needs have accelerated. And the other thing I've alluded to, I've mentioned the hotel that we serve families. We started to this one, just the one, and we're going to be expanding. This one hotel, the 1st of December, and the first night we took 23 hot meals. Now, there were, at that time, 4 families, and there were some other individuals in need, so we fed them. We are now taking over 55 meals every time. The families are increasing.
Of course.
The point, what I think people don't really realize is, okay, we're getting used to COVID. We're getting tired of COVID. Life is good still for many of us, and we're recovering, those who had some difficulties. But when 40% of the people who were furloughed because of COVID earned less than $40,000 a year, that hit an entire community in a way that we can't understand. They already didn't have savings, then they lose their job. So that downhill slope started. When they were rehired, their hours weren't as much because the businesses were trying to rebuild because of COVID. So they continued to fall further and further behind. These are the people where you and I, okay, we've been blessed. My family has not been affected in a negative way economically from it. But even those who are, many are able to recover. Those that I'm talking about, it's going to take them 2 to 5 years longer. Just to recover. So whereas we're, buying nice houses and going on nice vacations and celebrating the fact that COVID is over, we have so many people in the greatest of need, and it continues to get worse because how do you climb out?
I tell you, it's that treadmill. You think you're moving, but you're in that one position. You're moving, you're running, and when you look, it's the same walls you're seeing.
So
you
where
haven't
did they go,
left the
Roxy?
position.
Let me throw that at you
You're
again.
going to throw it at me again.
Yeah.
So right now I have some board members, and they're sitting here talking about, oh, my Lord, why did Cathie do that? We do not have any shelters here on the Treasure Coast. And now let me let you know what a shelter is. A shelter is you get displaced out your home. You get your cat, your dog, your children, your husband, your wife, your girlfriend, or your partner. It doesn't matter. You go to a place, you open the door. We have nowhere to sleep. Can I sleep here tonight? And they say, yes, we can help you. There are some cots or there's some beds over there. We don't have that. Do you know how many animal shelters we have? I'm going to go there now. I know some people are, I have a dog, and he is the love of my life. He rules my house. He's not in a cage. He has free range of my house. My husband said he needs to be paying a mortgage, okay? So I love animals, so anybody who's going to jump on your high horse, get down, because I love animals. Do you know how many animal shelters we have here on the Treasure Coast? Do you know, Cliff?
There's quite a few of them. We've got the regular Humane Society. And
they're building a new building. Because we need more of them.
Dogs and Cats Forever.
They're a lovely organization. Yeah. And, we have over 20.
Really?
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
Yes, we do.
And that's
but
in 4
no
counties,
place for
right?
the homeless.
Yes. And not one place where someone could go knock on a door.
Image.
That is on the weekend.
So you're better off
3 days
as
a week.
dog
Yes.
than a person.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Absolutely.
That's
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Right. There is the part-time, which is image
you
of
have
Christ.
a part-time. Or no, it has to hit really cold for someone to really care. See, right now you might want to hit your hand on a button. I'm gonna be really good there. If it gets very cold, but 30 degrees, 40 degrees, all of a sudden, oh my goodness, we must open a school, Percy's gym, the school or somewhere, so our homeless can stay, because you don't want to find a dead body on the street. Let's be real.
We've had that weather this year,
Yeah.
and they've not opened any shelters. Have
See,
you heard of one?
COVID has made me stop watching the news.
Right.
Yeah, it's made. I've
Yeah.
stopped watching the news.
Yeah.
I can't. do
It's a
news
very,
anymore.
very hard.
It's a hard life, and some of these individuals come out of prison. Some of them lose jobs. Some of them just bad luck. I have met some individuals with degrees. I've met individuals who are barely trying to make it. I've met individuals who've had businesses who, one man said, I used to write checks to organizations like you. He said, I fell off a roof, I hurt my back, then my wife left, and the cycle continued until now he was living in a tent. So it just, things happen. In life, things happen. When are we going to start treating people like our neighbors? Because we don't treat them like animals. Because if we treated them like animals, they'll have a place, they'd have a shelter to go to.
Right.
Keeping it real. This is Careology. The
We need to
science of
be the
care.
village.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to become a villager
Yes.
in the village.
And
Yes.
and that is sad. So that is why we are constantly busy.
Right.
You deal with food insecurities. I deal with hygiene insecurities. Because when they eat, they need to come see me. It goes hand in hand. It doesn't stay with you. You know,
Absolutely.
you need to be clean. You don't want to, everyone wants to be clean. When I see these guys come, you see them when they take a shower and they come out, the smile on their face. It's just like, I say to myself, that's why I'm doing this. Yeah, Roxy, get over yourself. This is why you're doing it. Because sometimes I have bad days. I'm not always happy. I wake up on the wrong side of the bed sometimes. But yes, Cliff, I do.
I was going to say, that's hard to believe.
Yes, it is. My husband is saying,
I thought it was just me.
No, I can see my husband shaking his head. Oh, yes, she does. Yes, she does. But it puts your life into perspective. That there are some people in our community that just do not know. They're living in a glass house and it's foggy. They need to clean their windows. They need to look out. There are people in need. There are people who are hungry. And that is why we need Gracway Village. That is why we need Care Bag, because we are doing the work that some of you will never do. And I don't mind if you don't want to do the work. But what I'm going to ask you to do is put your money where it should go. And it should go in our community, helping us nonprofits who are out there looking after our babies. These families have children. And when you look after the families and you care for the families, they're caring for the children. And when parents are happy, children are happy. Children are less abused when they are in a household where the mom and dad know they can provide. When parents get angry and they get their back against the wall and they need to lash out, unfortunately, Cathie, they lash out at the children.
Quite often.
They lash out at the children. I read an article and it wasn't in this country, where a mother stuck at home with her child, killed her daughter, gouged out her eyes. How
the stress
it's
beyond
crazy,
what we can understand.
But you don't know. That's why we've been having New Horizons. We've been having Sequel Healthcare. We've been talking about, relationships. We've been talking about depression. We've been talking about how to move forward, how to talk to someone. That not only are there facilities you can go that you can get good help and you can talk to someone. If you are home in your home and you know you are hungry and you are at your last end, you know that there is Graceway Village. You can call them. You can find out when they're open. You can find out, they can tell you when the food pantries are. If you can't remember Graceway Village, you don't know the number, call 211. Because Cathie and I are on 211. I know she's on. I don't even need to ask her. I know she's on there. Absolutely. Call 211. Get the number for Graceway, because they are here to help you. No one in our nation, no one in our community, no one in Fort Pierce, Port St. Lucie County should be hungry. They should not be hungry. There are more than enough agencies out there. And if you want a hot meal, I see when these families are sitting down getting this hot meal and they're eating it and it looks good. I've had lunch there myself too. These big cookies. Always the big cookies. Yes, I have a sweet tooth.
Well, we have our cook. We're very privileged to have a culinary chef as our cook. She came on in May.
Oh.
And, my goodness, has that been fun to watch the quality of food.
The food that's coming out now.
And that she can do 300 meals a day. Like it's nothing in just a couple hours. You do know about our family restorative living facility that we're moving towards.
Yes, I do know. Tell us about it.
Well, as you've just so clearly defined the fact we have such a shortage of shelters. The family restorative living facility is for families who are threatened with homelessness or are actively in that horrible state. And the point of it is giving them a safe place to live while they regather and rebuild and relearn skills and habits and whatever, so that at the end of their residency with us, they can be self-sufficient, healthy family unit. So when we get this built, we've purchased our property, which is where we're located. Thank you. And so now we're moving forward with the capital campaign to build this facility, which COVID is screaming that we need to do because the numbers are doubling. They'll have a place for them to live. Well, it's a communal, so we'll have 12 living units for the families and communal living and whatnot. We'll have caseworkers, and we'll be partnering with all the different nonprofits that you've even mentioned, because we're going to need all that. This is a community that needs to come together to help these families. They're going to be self-sufficient.
And they want to be
our community. Yes,
they want to be.
Yes.
A lot of people say, "Oh no, they want to live." No, I talk to them. No, they do not. Wake up, people. No, they do not. Right. They want to be self-sufficient. They want to have a key and they want to turn it into their door. They want to press a button in their car that their garage can go up so they can drive in. Right. They want the American dream like everyone else, but they are on a steadfast treadmill. they're going nowhere. They're in the same position, and it takes a village to get them up and to get them out. Can you say your website? We're going to go ahead and put your website on our page. We do that for everyone
Thank
that we
you.
have, because we have Cliff is giving me the countdown. We have 4 minutes before we go. But Cathie, it was a privilege to have you on.
Thank you. I
Thank
love
you.
being here. We'll come anytime you want to invite me. Love it.
Definitely. So we got one question to ask you before I get
Oh, my
into my
goodness.
spiel. If you had one word to pick out instead of making a resolution, what would your word be that you would carry with you through 2021?
Unity.
Ooh, no one has said unity. Cliff,
You want to
had
know
they?
why? We're in this together. We need to be united. Who in the world would not want their name on any entity such as ours, where we are helping feed and care for people?
That's
Unity.
true. Unity. I love that. Unity. Well, everyone, we have had a great, great time. Cliff, did you enjoy this?
I always enjoy this show.
Oh, thank you. It has been a pleasure, a pleasure. And I want to invite everyone, go on our Facebook page and you can go ahead and you can watch this. We do it live on Facebook. And thank you to all. We're doing a fundraiser tonight at Hurricane Grill on Kitterman and US 1. And I have my girls out there that are standing in for me. We were there yesterday and we're out there again tonight.
Are they there now?
They are there now.
How late are they going to be there today?
10 o'clock.
All right, so that's Hurricanes and
Hurricane on Kitterman and US 1.
Kitterman and US 1, folks.
That's right. They got the best wings out there. So
I can say I have had those wings.
oh yes, they got tables outside. You can do Grubhub, anything you do, delivery, takeout, have someone pick it up and bring it to your front door. You go ahead and you help CareBag move forward so we can go ahead and help Insecurities. If you're interested in helping Graceway, you can go ahead, call 211 and find out Graceway's information. We'll put it on our Facebook page. It'll be up there by tonight with our picture so you can see who we're talking about. We just want to say thank you for listening to the show. Thank you for supporting us. We need your help that we can go ahead and we can help with the community.
What kind of help do you need from what kind of people?
We need help from it. If you want to give a cash donation, give carebag.com.
Carebag.com.
Give carebag.com. And that will really help us. We're always doing diapers, depends. Anything that you go in to take a shower, any personal hygiene that you use when you're in your shower, that is what we use. And if you want to give a financial donation, we're a 501c. We can give you a receipt. You can come to our facility, see our shower units, our mobile unit, and you can come and volunteer. If you don't want to come and volunteer, go down to Gracway Village and help them. Any help you give in this community is going to be a good help.
Your donation is tax deductible.
Yes, it
That's a
is.
wonderful thing about CareBag.
Yes, it is.
And Careology, of course.
That's it. And we appreciate you guys. We're going to be on next week at 6:05 every Tuesday. And if you want to go ahead and go to our website, or you can go to our Facebook page and you can see it. If you heard something you want to hear again, we keep all our shows on, and then we have it on YouTube in a couple of days that you can go ahead and you can share it, and Cathie can share this also. But again, everyone, thank you. God bless. You can listen to us on Alexa, TuneIn, Facebook Live, and WPSL 1590.
Share it and care it.
Share and care it. They're right. Careology, Science of Caring. Love you guys. Have a wonderful evening. Good night.
All right, the laboratory is closed, and the science of Careology will continue in the morning. All right.
There you go. Have a good night, guys.
Archives of the show are on YouTube under WPSL TV. Careology with Roxy, Tuesday evenings in the 6 o'clock hour, right here on WPSL. Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast, webcaster to the world on Google Home, Alexa, and of course the TuneIn app on your smartphone. This is WPSL Port St. Lucie.